Good afternoon, dear students. So I think uh, several people joining. So anyway, we can continue the discussion. So I think you can remember the things which we have discussed in the last week. So under the food safety management, food safety and legislation management. So we have discussed about the Food Act and the stakeholder groups and everything we have discussed. There were four parts. There are four parts in the Food Act, number 26, 1980, and we discussed those things in detail. And I show you the actual Food Act, and there are some amendments also. So in this week onwards, we can discuss about food regulations. So it is also very important, and you all have to understand the food regulation, and it's very important to have a good knowledge on food regulation. So what are the food regulation? You know the difference in between laws, regulations and acts. So regulations means it is also a legal document, and normally regulations are not going through the bill process, and the particular institutes can develop their own regulations with respect to the act or any legal document based on type of a legal document. So in everywhere we have regulations. In your home also you have some regulation from your parents, and after you get married, then you will have some regulation from your husband or wife, and then you are going to apply some regulations in your home for your children. So that's the circle we are following, and it's the nature actually. So regulations are there. Nature is also we know what is nature and what is the environment we know. So we have some environmental laws in Sri Lanka and the global scenarios. So and some natural laws are available. Natural laws are available. There are no more documents, but automatically the nature will control some particular regulations. So today we are going to start the regulations related to the food industry. So I will show you some regulations. You can see the regulations, right? You have to just type food regulations in Sri Lanka in Google, then you can see the Food Control Administration Unit. You know what is food controlling, and these are the regulations available in Sri Lanka, right? And it is very easy to download in three basic languages: Sinhala, English, and Tamil. You can download very easily. If you need any regulation, then you can download the PDF version of that regulations. So as an example, we have food preservative regulation, and the year also you can see 2019. Food additives regulation, right? Likewise, food colors, everything there, right? All regulations are there. Food sweeteners, antioxidants, flavoring substances, and shelf life of imported food items. You know, we have some imported foods like some beverage we have, and meat products also we have. So how to determine the shelf life, right? So likewise we have, and food hygiene regulation. This is very important. I will explain a few regulations. Among those regulations, I will explain a few. then you have to do an assignment. You all have to do assignments. I will give you the topics today. Then personally, you have to go through these regulations. You can select one. Today, I will give topics to you. Then you can download the regulation and read it carefully and collect some examples for your regulation and prepare a presentation, and you have to present. Right? It's an individual assignment. You all have to do that, and we will have a presentation session after 2-3 weeks. Then you have to prepare, and others can ask questions. I am also asking questions, and there will be some other members from our department. I'm not sure how many members are there will be participate for this session, and so you have to ready. You have to prepare attractive presentations with some examples. You can see the bread standards, coloring substances, right? Likewise, so many regulations are there, right? These words are familiar, right? Familiar words to you, right? Vinegar standards, irradiation, bottle of packaged water, right? And for the salt and food labeling and advertising regulations, today we are going to start this one. The year you can see 2005 and the number and miscellaneous. So there are so many regulations are there, right? So you all can download these things easily. So I am not going to explain these things in detail, but I will explain you some regulations, some examples. Then you can do it as a homework, right? Okay. Okay, then I think it's clear. You know, there are around 30 food regulations are available, and some draft regulations are also there. Draft regulations means we have been developed those regulations based on the current situation, current requirements. So you can see some current issues and global issues, and some international regulations are there, modern regulations. So what we have to do is we have to prepare our own regulations for Sri Lanka. So as I shown you earlier, we have around 30 regulations. And when it comes to food labeling and advertising regulation, which was implemented in 2005, I will show you the regulation after briefing the regulation. So I think if not, it is very difficult to listen to that lecture. So I will brief it. I will brief the food labeling and advertising regulation first. Then I will show you the actual document. So according to the food labeling and advertising regulation, so no person shall transport, distribute, store, sell, offer for sale, expose or keep for sale, advertise for sale, any food contained in a package or container unless such package or container is labeled in accordance with those regulations. So you know what is food label, right? What is a food label? So almost all the foods we can see labels, right? There are two purposes. The first one is we have food regulations in Sri Lanka and also food controlling system in our country. So we all have to adhere to those regulations and rules and acts. The other purpose is marketing. So in every day you can see different TV commercials and paper advertisement regarding some foods. So you all have very good experience on food labeling. So, but today onwards, you are going to look at those regulations and look at those labels in a different way. So now onwards, you have to carefully read, right? Carefully read those labels and compare with the standards available in the country, right? Okay. So, and sometimes you should have a question like this, right? You should have a question like this. In some foods, we don't need to follow the regulations. Right? Give me example. Give me example. Do we need to have a label for all foods or not? Give me example for foods we sell or store without labels. Give me example.
Vegetables.
Yes, vegetables. Other example. Other example. We don't need to have a label for vegetables. Okay, then Prabodha. ඔගොල්ලන්ට දැන් කඩේට ගියාම ලේබල් නැති කෑම જાති තියෙනවා මොනවද?
Short yeast.
Short yeast, yes.
Bakery products.
Some bakery products.
Fish products.
Huh?
Fish products.
Fish products means raw fish, ned.
Yes.
But we have we can see labels for processed fish and meats. But in raw fish, no labels are there, right? Takshila. Right, good. So in these regulations, you can see exempt situations of, right? Those are the food categories. Temporary warehouse of third party warehouse of or third party logistic providers, right? If we have a temporary warehouse like paddy, right? We have paddy stores in our country, and we have some vegetable stores, right? We need not to have labels. And third party logistic providers, sometimes we can see some food transporters, and we use our train and personal vehicles, trucks and freezer trucks. So we don't need to have a label for that type of food products because we are just transport and store, right? For the not for the permanent, but for the temporary basis. If the food is weighed, counted or measured by the request of the consumer, and also the quality, nature, origin and the brand decided by the consumer, right? Now you can think those are the food the food products you propose. You told me as an example raw fish, some bakery products, right? Then we determine the quantity and the quality and the everything, weight. Sometimes wheat flour, so we request 1 kilogram of wheat flour from the supermarket or any selling center. Then we determine the quality. We are going to weight it, and some sugar, some you can see some papadang like products, right? In some papadam you can see we can weigh and buy, and some papadam you can see it is already in the package. So, but such products label is there, but for the weight product we can't see the label. And some noodles are also available, soya meat like products. Chili, we don't have labels from raw chili. Raw chili means dried chili available in as bulk products, right? Bulk products. But we have labels. We can see labels of 100-gram chili bags, 200 grams, and packed products we can see, right? So I think it's clear we don't need at the time we need labels and some exempt situations, right? So, food labeling advice and regulations. So, package or container is labeled in accordance with the regulations. Label shall design in with 2 languages. With certain exemptions are also there. So, you have to remember that we need to use at least two languages, but there are some exemptions also. Label permanently printed or painted or affixed on the main panel, it should be permanently fixed. It means we can't remove it easily, right? We have to permanently fix. Supplementary label may be affixed for imported foods main, right? Supplementary label means there are several panels, several label panels you can see on the packaging. I will show you some examples. You can see some supplementary packagings also. So there are rules and regulations for the main panel and also supplementary labels and other panels too. Right? When it comes to main panel, right? Main panel it is one of the very important panel. So these are the things should declare on the main panel. First, common name, right? I will show you the common name and brand name or the trade name and net contents, right? These three are very important, critical. We have to declare all these things on the main panel, right? Common name means, right? Sometimes it might be a sunflower cooking oil, right? Sunflower means the brand name and cooking oil means the common name. So most probably we can see brand name is there. It's highlighted, it's very attractive, but it's very difficult to see the common name, right? Sometimes we can't identify whether it is a milk product or a fruit product, but we can't identify the product also because brand name is there and common name is very difficult to identify. The letter sizes are very low and the colors are not good, but the brand name is there. We can see it properly because they use this packaging material as a marketing tool, not for the technical, not for the technical details, right? Then common name, at least 2 languages we have to use. We have English, Sinhala and Tamil in Sri Lanka. So we have to use at least 2 languages out of these 3. And brand name or trade name, 1 language is enough. So based on the customers, based on the demand, based on the region, we can determine the language, maybe English or maybe Tamil or maybe Sinhala, right? But we shall not mislead the public, general public. It's the main thing, right? Sometimes you can see this type of brands. It's Sinharaj, right? Sinharaj and some Sri Lanka, like a brand. So we can't use such common names, right, as our brands. And sometimes you can see very similar brands, right? For an example, Sunlight. You can see Sunlight without changing without changing 1 or 2 letters. When we pronounce it, then it's similar, Sunlight, right? And tea, as an example, tea, you can see the correct word is TEA, but you can see sometimes TEE, right? Or a double T or T double E. Likewise, there are similar terms, but not the correct term. So it's also avoided, and we can't do such things in food industry. So it's prohibited. And net contents, we need to use. We shall use international symbols. SI units, kilograms, grams, milliliters. Only we can use SI units for net contents, right? I think it's clear. So The things, the critical things like common name, brand name, and net contents, we have to declare on the main panel, right? Then now here you can see the things available in on the label, right? This is the main panel, right? This is the main panel. You can see pasteurized fresh soya milk. The brand is there, right? I think it's the brand is very good, neither. Anyway, ingredient lists, their nutrition information are there. Usage instructions are very important. How to use it, how to store it, how to keep it, right? Sometimes you can see, please keep these foods under refrigerated conditions, and please avoid this food of sunlight. Likewise, there are some instructions, and manufacturer's details are very important. His contact details and who is the manufacturer, and email address, likewise, and who and a hotline number to complain, right? These things are very important, and date of manufacturer, likewise, and product name. You can see pasteurized fresh soya milk. That's the product name, or maybe the common name. Net weight is there. You can see they have used some into SI units, right? So I'm not going to re-explain it. It's very clear. It's very simple. So I hope you got the point, right? Then here you can see local product available in our market. So A is the main panel, right? You can see there are several panels like B and C and D. There are so many panels in the back side and in the middle panels. So A is very critical, right? Here A, you can see brand name is there. What is the brand name? Maggie. The language they have used English, and the common names coconut milk powder, right? And you can see it both English and Sinhala languages. And then net contents, weight, it's they have mentioned as 300 grams, right? And other panels, you can see date of manufacturer, manufacturer date, expiry date, maximum retail price, and ingredient list, manufacturer details, import and distributor batch number, country of origin. Everything is there on the other panel. So it's very important to mention, declare these things on the main panel. Clear? I think it's clear, right? Then they have brand name, and what's the difference in between brand name and common name. And you can see the brand names, it's highlighted, but common name also readable, right? Then the following facts shall be mentioned in any two or three languages, any two of three languages. So we can use English, Sinhala, and Tamil. The consumer warnings, DOE, date of expiry, instruction for the use or storage, as we discussed. Further instructions, we have to declare at least two languages. Not we can't use one language. Two languages should be there. And the letter size used for the common name should be higher than 1/3 of the letter size of the brand name. And the minimum height is 3 millimeters. All words of the common name shall be identical size, type, and similar. It means you can see the real coconut milk powder common name should be at least 1/3 of the brand name. Right? සමහරවිට ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවා brand name එක ලොකුවට තියෙනවා මේක පේන්නේ නැහැ. But at least the size, the height of these letters should be 1/3 of the height of brand name. And the minimum height should be 3 millimeters. for this letter. The letter height should be at least 3 millimeters for the common name. And it should be readable. It should be easily read and easily identified, right? Date of expiry you can mention, you can declare it on the panel, and orally some products you can see it on the lid. And when it comes to supplementary labels, right? Supplementary labels, there are 2 or 3 labels maybe, right? If we use a type of supplementary label, then height of the letter size of common name shall not be less than 1/2 of the letter size in the main panel, right? For both labels, we have to mention the common name, but the minimum, it should be half in size according to the letter size of mention we use in the main panel. All letters, numbers, and symbols should be readable and visible to the naked human eye. Okay, got it? It means avoid misleading, right? All letters, you can't use symbols. You can use symbols, but you can't symbols or pictures with the purpose of misleading, right? Sometimes you can see they are using, as an example, D. The correct one is D, but they use it as D. They use D, but the letter is different. They have redesigned it. Maybe a D or maybe T. They use such letters as symbols. So it's also prohibited. You can't mislead someone, right? So letter size, when it comes to supplementary labels, you know the letter size at least half, and visible, the letter should be visible. If the pack size same or below 25 square centimeters, right, it means 5 by 5, right? 5 by 5 means it's almost about the size of shampoo packet, sachet, right? Sachet like products. It's you can imagine the size 5 centimeter and 5 centimeter. The size is very small one. So chief food authority can decide to remove the net weight from the label. So if it is a small pack, same or below 25 square centimeters, then chief food authority, we have to write to him and ask whether we can remove net weight from this label or not, right? If we are going to reduce it, if we are going to avoid that word from this label, then first it's necessary to ask from the chief food authority, CFA. The important fact of the main panel should be bold letters, and minimum height of the letter shall be 1.5 millimeter. All these things are important in designing a supplementary labels, not for the main panel. If it is a supplementary label, we have to adhere to the these things. We have to adhere to these things, right? I think it's clear. Do you have questions regarding these, regarding things we have discussed up to now? So many things, right? So you have to do an assignment, and at the end of this session, you have to design a label for your product. And for your assignments, you can use some examples. You have to use examples. If you use more examples, you will have more marks, right? So these things are important. You can download these regulations. No need to remember these things. Just download and read, right? And you can highlight the important points and keep it, those regulations with you. Or you do not need to get printouts. You just download it and highlight the critical points on the PDF. There are some tools. Okay. Then date of expiry, we can use similar words. Date of expiry, use before, use by, best before, like you can use these similar terms, right? And the formats also you can see date, month, year, year, month, date, or month and year, right? Month and year, right? If it is a month, we there are again we have to think the last date of the month, right? No date, it means last date, right? Okay, where year mentioned in 4 digits. If we are going to use sorry, then you can use these formats. And where year mentioned in 2 digits, here you have to use the year from by using 4 digits. You have to use all these digits. But if we are going to use only 2 digits, then the format is like this. We can use only this format for the date of expiry, right? And if some if only the month and year mentioned, as I explained you earlier here, the expiry date will be the last date of the month, right? Here this should be corrected as date. Expiry date. Right? We have used only month and year format, right? Then the date will be the last day of the month, right? It means 30 or 31 or 29, right? Then these are the terms you have to use. And the formats, we have different formats. We can use 4 digits in the year and 2 digits also. If you are going to use 2 digits, there is a format, again only one format. And if you are going to write, if you are going to declare only 2 digits for the year, then expiry date will be the last date. That month. Date of manufacturing, you can see the similar terms: manufacturer date, manufactured on, or MFD, and the general format is there, same. Then 4 digits form and 2 digits form, they are similar. Here also we use, if we are going to use 2 digits for the year, then the date will be the last date, right? Okay, then letter sizes. You can remember the letter sizes of supplementary labels, but this is for the main panel. The common name, minimum height, 3 millimeter, and shall not be less than 1/3 of the brand name. We have discussed. When common name consisted of more than one word, the word shall be identical type and size and similarly displayed, right? It means you can't change the font sizes, right? As an example, the common name, green tea, right? Example, green tea. Then you can use font size 12 for green and font size 28 for tea, right? Is it correct? No, right? Is it? It is a violating point. So you can't use the size, font, and type, and the spaces are very important. It means always protect the consumer. The main objective of the food control system, the objective is to protect consumer and provide safe food. So therefore, you can't mislead, or somebody can't mislead the consumer. So that's why the regulations and acts are there. Okay. Then, as we discussed, so small packages, 25 gram and 30 millimeter or less sizes, and 25 square centimeter like packs. You can see the letter size shall not be less than 1.5 millimeter. Exceptions may be allowed by the Chief Food Authority for package not exceeding 25 square centimeters, right? right? For this type of 25 gram or 30 millimeter packs, letter sizes, the minimum letter size is 1.5 millimeter, but for the 25 square centimeter packages, for the 25 square centimeter packages, sorry, packages, you can ask you can request from the chief food authority to avoid that net weight. And net content and date of expiry letter sizes, minimum height, you can see for the bottle closures, 1 millimeter. If we have 120 square centimeters, then the letter size with the size of the main panel, you can see the minimum sizes of the letters for net content and DOE, right? Wait for a moment. Lecture. So you can see the letter sizes with respect to the label area. So don't try to remember these things. It's very difficult to remember the sizes and heights, everything. Don't try to remember, but you need to have a look at, you need to have a look on these regulations. Right. Okay. Then there were some other legislations we had in Sri Lanka, so you can read these things. I'm not going to explain. We had these regulations in Sri Lanka those days. Okay. So hope you can now similarly you can easily explain the very important things which should declared on the table on the food labels. So important things, I think it's clear. So I'm not going to explain these things. So now it's clear. Right, then we can move to the next one. On it is also regarding the food labeling, and I'm going to explain these things in detail because this is very important. So we have discussed these things. And here you can see the number 6, and you can see the page number 4 of the regulation, food labeling regulations. You can see this point for fats and oils, right? Fats and oils. Name, source of origin, common name of any edible oil shall be declared on the label, right? If it is a fat or oil-based product, then these 3 are very important: name, source of origin, and common name. Number 1, you can see the name, maybe brand name, or maybe their company name. You can see Marina and Onrich, right? The second one is source of origin. You can see a product of Sri Lanka, right? And the common name, vegetable oil. Here you can see cooking oil, right? Right. These things are very important for fats and oil-based products. Here you can see the very common products available in Sri Lankan market, and with these examples you can understand. So now onwards you can see the products. You better to study the labels. It's a free activity. You need not to buy these products. Just go to a supermarket. You have free air conditions there. You can just look at the products available in the supermarket or your shop available in your village or your hometown. Then just go there and visit and see the labels, and remember and just just have a look on that labels and compare with the laws and regulations. Then you can easily remember these things, right? In case of blended oils, you can see this example. There are some blended oils. One of the blended oils we know the coconut oil, we know. We have coconut oil, we have vegetable oil, we have sunflower oil, likewise olive oil. Several oil varieties are available. Edible oil varieties are available in our market. Sometimes you can see blended oils. This is an example, right? It is a blended cooking oil, right? You can see Crown blended cooking oil. Nice. Right? Then what are the ingredients here? Soybean oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, and canola seed oil of variable quantities, right? Then there are soybean, sunflower, and canola oils. The ratios are different, right? Ratios there, but variable quantities are there, not similar quantities, right? In this example, you can see blended vegetable oil may be labeled as blended oil, right? X means the constituent more than 75% of the blend. If none of the constituent exceeds 75 blends, then the name shall be blended vegetable oil, right? However, the constituents clearly declared on the label, right? It means if we have one ingredient more than 75%. So here you can see soybean oil, sunflower and canola. Maybe soybean oil 30, sunflower oil 30 and canola 20, 40. So the percent total is 100. Sometimes you can see 80% coconut oil plus 20% vegetable oil. So like in this example, you have to use blended coconut oil, right? If the constituent exceed the percentage than 75, then you have to mention the name here, right? If not, below 75, you can write it as blended oil. Exceed the amount than 75 in any constituent, so then you have to mention the constituent here. If we have more than 80% of vegetable oil, so blended vegetable oil, right? But here you can see all these oil varieties are below 75% in this blend. So that's why they have mentioned it as blended cooking oil, right? No any name, right? If it is a butter product, right? Butter like products. So the sugar, so when it comes sugar confectionery, at least 4% of butter should be there, right? If it is a sugar or chocolate based product, at least 4% of butter should be there. Then you can't, if not, you can market, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ butter එකක් හදන්න යනවා, sorry, chocolate එකක් හදන්න යනවා butter නැතුව, right? Butter base එකක් නැතුව, එතකොට you can't market it as a sugar confectionery or whatever the confectionery. Under this name you can't market. So if it is a sugar chocolate confectionery, then at least 4% butter should be there. And if it is a flour confectionery, entirely of butter fat should be there, right? You will be learning, you will learn about confection next year in detail, but now you have to understand the percentages. Right, here you can see the 0.7, page number 5 of the regulation. I just summarize these things to explain this act to you all. If not, I can use the PDF, same PDF, and read all these things. But I think this is a good way, right? If it is a fruit drink, ready to serve drink, the minimum fruit juice percentage should be 5%. If it is a cordial, if it is a fruit crush, if we use as squash or syrup, the minimum fruit juice percentage is around 25. Fruit concentrates, the minimum juice percentage shall be 45%. So there are different terms you can see in KIST. Here there are some examples. Mixed fruit nectar. If it is a nectar, it means RTS, then minimum 5% of fruit juice is there. According to the label regulations, minimum percentage is 5. In mango cordial, you can see the second example. Then here minimum fruit availability should be higher than 25%. Right? Such fruit concentrates, Sunquick like products, you know, the minimum fruit percentage is 45%. At least 45% of fruit should be there if we are going to market this product as a fruit concentrate. So I think this is very interesting regulation in under the, when we considering all these regulations, food label regulation is very interesting. It's very practical because you have to have a look on these labels available in the market, then develop your own label. So you have to do these things at the end of this lecture series. How to use this term artificial vinegar and artificial cordial syrup like packaging products are available. Only use the term artificial or similar words in close proximity. So here you can see two vinegar products, Freeland artificial vinegar and KVC coconut vinegar, right? Then here you can see they have not used any coconut or ketul or any natural picture. But here in the KVC product, I am not sure whether it is a natural or not. But if it is a natural product, so we can use the actual picture only for natural products, right? Then if it is a ketul based product, then you can't use coconut. So if it is a coconut vinegar, the product should be a natural coconut vinegar based product. So if not, you can see here, they have clearly mentioned it as artificial vinegar, right? But nowadays, you can see the people working towards this food act, to protect this food act, they are working very hard to protect this food act, to implement this food act in a good way in Sri Lanka. Therefore, as a result of that, you can see this type of labels. But those days we don't had this type of good culture. Then they just fill some artificial product and mention some natural pictures on their labels. That's wrong. But now the laws and regulations are pretty good. So the regulators and the people related to food control system, they are working in a satisfactory way. So you all need to put your comments and put your efforts to protect these acts, right? That it's our right, right? We have some acts in other acts, so we have rights to protect those acts. So likewise, food act also a very good and important one. We have to fight to protect that act, right? You have to, and others have to adhere to these regulations. In this example, you can see those days we had some strawberry jams. The price is around 100 rupees, maybe around 2000 or when we are schooling. So the strawberry jams are very popular. One bottle is around 50 rupees or 35 rupees, somewhat. I can't exactly remember. But those days, the label, they mention as strawberry jams. But at least they don't have a single strawberry in their plant. They just use some colorings and flavors, right? But nowadays, the label regulations are there. You know, Jagro is very popular natural strawberry based jam. So they have used these type of strawberry pictures and Jalgrow strawberry jam, you can see. But in MD jam, you can see they have mentioned on the label strawberry flavored melon jam. Strawberry, right? Strawberry, but nowadays, even in the label, you can see as puhul jam. So regulations are there. Before consuming or buying, you need to, everyone need to read these labels carefully. The word fruit or related pictures shall not be used for artificial flavored fruit-based products. There are flavors, not actually the natural product. Right? Then about confectionaries and similar products. For confectionaries, chocolate, biscuit, desserts like products, if it is a natural product, right. Name of the fruit picture of the fruits may be used on the main panel. If it is an artificial or non-fruit product, then you have to mention it as here. Natural or artificial, like here, right? In this previous example, you can see the strawberry flavored melon jam, right? Here, natural strawberry jam or strawberry flavored melon jam. Likewise, you have to write. There are some examples: natural strawberry flavored, hard-boiled candy, artificial strawberry flavored milk toffee. These are the correct terms. But here you can't see it. Only strawberry flavored melon jam. But these are the recommended terms by the food regulations, by the food labeling regulation. Is it clear? Okay. Right. Then artificial means artificial, and there are some permitted things, and there are some approved limits, right? When it comes to artificial food ingredients, there are some limits also, so you have to follow these limits as well. An ingredient including flavor, color, preservatives shall be properly mentioned on the label in order to the national and international standards. Means we have to use common names, E numbers or INS numbers. I think I'm not going to explain these things. E numbers, it's very familiar, and INS means international standards. So you can see E202, INS 202. Likewise, there are preservatives, colors, and flavor agents, so you can see. So everything should declare on the label. If we have mixed those things, so you have to declare these things. No misleading by using colors, pictures, font sizes, right? Right. Okay, these things are important for food industry, right? And you can't write like this. It's wrong, right? This is the correct way. So the font sizes should be similar. You can't use different fonts and different colors for each word. Spacing should be similar. So this is the correct way. You can't mislead our consumers. Anybody can't, nobody can't mislead, right? And if it is irradiated product, you know, the internationally approved logo. This logo you can see on the irradiated foods. Then, so if it is irradiated foods, this logo should be declared close to the common name, right? As mentioned here, we have to declare this logo close to the common name. Common name means general name, not for the brand name. Or if the product manufactured with any ingredient, irradiated ingredients, here also you have to individually declare maybe a, so the product may be a like Samaposha like product, right? Only example, right? To produce Samaposha, we use different types of grains. So for that, if we use irradiated ingredients, so individually we have to declare this is an irradiated one, this is an irradiated one. Likewise, the logo also declare. So you can't mislead. Okay. Okay. Then and it is prohibited to recommend or prescribe. As I think I have already told you that nobody can't prescribe or influence people, that the doctors, any professional or myself, I can't recommend any food for any person. We can prescribe the medicines or some other product, but nobody can't. Nobody can recommend. So nobody can recommend. So doctors, they can't recommend. So sometimes you can see some doctors, they recommend, please take this brand, only this brand, this is good. So you can't do this similar thing in the food industry, right? It is prohibited to recommend, prescribe or influence people for particular food brand name by the medical practitioner, association of or any professionals using its label or advertisements, word, pictorial or any device. So we can't do that. Any health claims on food labels are prohibited. You can't write any health claim. Sometimes you can write this food is good for, this food is recommended for diabetes. So you can't write it, right? All nutrition value related to claim should be comply with schedules. We will explain these things. The product exclusively designed for specific age groups, maybe pregnant ladies and lactating mothers, and when the fortification level of nutrient exceed from 1/3 of the recommended daily recommended values, so special approval should be taken. I will show you the examples later, right? You can't use the health claims, and if the product is recommended for any specific groups, sometimes you can see this is for age 1 to 3 children, infants. So if so, the nutrient, sometimes you can see the calcium level, this is a calcium rich product. Some examples, I think, I hope, I suppose you can remember. So if so, so the recommended, so the nutrition, if we are going to market this as a high calcium product, so the calcium percentage should be exceed 1/3 of the recommended daily value. If the recommended value is 10, right? If the recommended value is 10, so if we are going to use this as a high calcium one, right? Sorry, if the recommended value is 30, but we are going to market it as we have 10, so it's exceed. If it is exceeding 1/3 of the daily recommended, the daily recommendations for us is maybe 30, right? So if we are going to use this product as a supplementary product, ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට දෛනිකව ගන්න ඕන ප්‍රමාණය අපි හිතමු ග්‍රෑම් 30යි කියලා. ඒක අපිට දෛනිකව ගන්න ඕනේ. It's a recommended value. ඒතර අපි product එකක් හදන්න යනවා. We are going to market a product as a high calcium product. එතකොට ඒකේ තියෙන calcium ප්‍රමාණය 10ට වඩා වැඩි නම්, if it is exceeding than 10%, it means 1/3 than the recommended daily values. So we have to take special recommendations and approvals from the chief food authority, right? So these things are important when it comes to food labeling, and there are some schedules in the food labeling and pricing regulation. In schedule 4 to 6 nutrition label, nutrient declaration is not mandatory. However, the label made for any health or nutrition claim, especially for infant food, pregnant mothers, young children, then nutrition should be declared. If we are going to market this product as a high calcium product, high vitamin C content product, so then we have to declare all these nutrients. These are mandatory requirements. All these nutrients should be declared on the label. This is not mandatory, but if we are going to claim any nutrition value or any health claim, then we have to use. Here you can see on these labels, PediaPro, here you can see DHA, iron, prebiotics are available. So therefore, these things should be declared on the label, right? Then how to present the nutrition compositions, and these things are important. You can read these things, and this is very important. Vegetable oil label is no cholesterol should carry a statement. You can't market a food product like no cholesterol product. Then the statement should be vegetable oil does not contain cholesterol, right? You can't use this term, right? If you are going to market a food products as a high vitamin C product, then at least there should be 40 milligram of ascorbic acid per 100 grams. It means at least 0.04 percentage of vitamin C should be there if we are going to market it as a high vitamin C product, right? Okay, these type of things are available. These things are very important, and you can't use these words as organic. If we are using these organic terms, using these terms, then certification should be there. Then you can't use these specific terms without having any certification. So if it is a natural product, also it is very important to have. And here you can see some misleading products. You can see carrots on this packaging, but bread is inside. So it means this bread has developed by using carrots. It's wrong. So this is just a bread, and they have used carrots as a packaging material. So it's misleading, right? Likewise, there are some terms, very common terms I have mentioned here. These are weight reduction. We have this product has a weight reduction capacity and cure illnesses. Like some claims are there, but you can't use such misleading terms. Right? So subcommittee we will discuss later in the next week. So I hope that we have discussed some very important points today regarding the Food Labeling Act, Food Labeling Regulation. So you can download it and read it, and please go through these documents before the next week discussion. So we have discussed some important food regulations today. We had a look on food regulations in Sri Lanka and why those regulations are important, and the food labeling and food labeling regulations we discussed up to some extent. So you know, now you are aware about the main panel and sub panels and supplementary labeling. What are the requirements? How many and the languages we have to use? At least there should be 2 languages for the common name. What is the common name and brand name? Likewise, what are how to use? What are the terms that we can use for the date of expiry and manufacturer date and the formats? Everything we have discussed today. So I hope if you are interested, you can read the regulations. The entire regulation is freely available, so you can easily download. And my advice is, please collect some labels. Several food labels are available in your kitchen, in your home. So please go through these labels and compare with the regulation. So then only you can understand the things I have discussed with you today. So then the next week we will discuss some very important things. So as I mentioned at the end of today, when we are starting the lecture, so you all have to do a presentation at the end of this lecture series. on the regulations. So I hope that your batch rep will do that. What your batch rep is, she has to do is, please take a list of the regulation available in Sri Lanka and select. You need to. I mean that you can select the you can number those regulations 1 to 28 and share the list of these regulation with your friends index number and send it back to me. It means that then nobody can request, right? You have to do you all have to do this assignment and the presentation. So the batch rep she has that responsibility to take a list of the regulation and the index numbers and the name. So then I can collect the names and the particular regulation which has been selected by the particular student. So then he or she has to do their presentations, right? Batch rep මේක list එකක් අරගන්න regulation list එක copy කරලා paste කරගෙන Word එකකට Excel එකකට හරි අනිත් පැත්තේ ළමයාගේ නම දාන්න ඉස්සරහින් කාටවත් select කරන්න දෙන්න එපා direct නම දාන්න මේ register එකේ අනුපිළිවෙලට there will not be some conflicts. So then you all have to do your presentations. So now for the time for your questions. If I suppose you don't have questions, so then we can wind up the session. I will upload the recording. So thank you very much for your participation today, and I hope you have learned something from this lecture. Thank you very much.